What's up, guys? TheInsaneGamefreak here to bring you another societal discussion. I just want to have something note. On the last one I did about the gender roles, I got comments going, why are you putting this here? And like, why are you doing it? So you should stick to anime and manga. And I realized, oh wait, I haven't done any like normal rants on this channel yet. Well, I've done very little, I guess I should say. But for people who don't know, you know, the ones who are new and didn't know about my old channel, I did shit like that all the time. I do shit like this all the time. It's just, it's not as obvious now because this is the only channel I'm working on. This is the vlog channel. So to some extent, it does seem like this should be that the societal discussion should be on the vlog channel. But this is shit I've been doing ever since I got on the site. Ever since I started making videos, I used to do rants. I used to do these discussions. So for you newer subscribers, this isn't something new. This is something I've been doing. Ask any of the older subscribers, they will tell you this is what I've been known for. It's either the rants and the anime stuff. But the rants and the discussions are things I've always done. But anyways, this societal discussion is more about future generations. And I find that funny considering it seems like the word generations is being used a lot this year. I wonder if it's because in 2012 we're all gonna die. Bullshit. So, yeah, this discussion essentially is about future generations. And I guess the best thing this video will be is what message, if you can only instill one message in the future generations of kids and whatnot, what message would that be? And I thought about it, and the one thing that came to mind is having an open mind. I mean, there's a lot of problems with today's mindsets and things when it comes to money, you know, people, love, whatever. Just people seem to be either really closed-minded or ignorant, which leads to a lot of hateful and judgments and wars and shit over dumb things. Like how people are getting killed over the dumbest shit now, over shoes and clothes and crap, and how people, it's the closed-mindedness to me is the main thing that's the problem. It's like you have people who just think your way of thinking is the right way. And then you also have people who are very, you know, segregated against other people, whether it be by sex or by race, or fuck, even by gender. It's just people, we're more, the closed-mindedness through stupidity. Let me first say, stupidity from closed-mindedness, or ignorance, I guess is the better word. And it's kind of retarded. So if I had to instill one message into the future generations is to come out into the gate with an open mind. Try to understand the other person before making any judgments. That's usually how I work. I'm not saying you can't prejudge it. Well, no, actually, in retrospect, you really don't need to prejudge. I mean, I've stated it before on my other channel that stereotyping is just something we humans do in order to, you know, familiarize ourselves with people, so we have somewhere to start off with. Like how how pretty much the way society has raised us, we try to judge off of that mindset to be able to talk to people. Like, for an example, if you've been raised that homosexuals act a certain way, or that geeks act a certain way, or porn stars act a certain way, you know how to address somebody with that kind of mindset in mind. Like, you take everything you know about geeks and you apply it to this person who fits the stereotype of a geek. So you'll probably bring up like shit like that. That's what we do. We stereotype and we judge people, which isn't bad, but it may lead to misconceptions, like it always does. It seems like every stereotypical group that has been set up by society isn't all completely that way. Yeah, some of the generalizations are right, but not all of them. So my thing for the future generations is to come into everything with an open mind. The stereotyping works, but it's kind of not necessary if everyone was kind of open-minded with it anyway. You wouldn't have all these homophobes. You wouldn't have people hating against the goths. And I guess in some sense, the thing with an open mind is that it's dangerous because people tend to lose themselves in open-mindedness, which I've noticed, which I think is a lot of reason why people are closed-minded. I think people are closed-minded because they don't want to change. They know being open-minded will change their point of view, and that's something most people generally just don't want. I mean, think about it. Closed-minded people today are the way they are because they're closed-minded. if you were to become open-minded, that means you would have to think a lot of your views on different things would change. And most people don't want to deal with that. And I guess in some sense you could kind of relate this discussion more to future generations, but you could also ask why are people closed-minded. I guess is another question I could that's kind of proposed within this own discussion itself. But for future generations, I figured if you come into shit with an open mind, it makes life a little easier. So you're not sitting there freaking out and getting angry and shit over dumb things. And maybe, people be able to understand each other a little bit better. I mean, I kind of got this from, if anyone's caught up with One Piece, the whole shit with Fisher Tiger. How Fisher Tiger didn't want to tell he didn't want the news of how he died and that he was a slave. He didn't want everyone to know that because he didn't want the future generations hating humans. Because he knew that we all need to we need to get along. But the older generations just have the hate in their heart that they can't let go. But the one thing they could do to prevent this from getting worse is to just not pass it down. That's the way I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking, that's not pass down our issues with people. Let's not pass that down because that's not something that's going to accomplish anything. I don't think my son being a homophobe is going to benefit him in life at any level. And open-mindedness, I mean, me personally, not a huge fan. You gotta think about it this way. If you had children, and let's say you have a daughter and a son, and your son turned out to be gay, and your daughter was a goth. Let's say you have an issue with both of those things. You don't need to pass down the issues you have with those two subcultures of that's not even subcultures of humans. What is it? Those two different tastes that humans have. You don't need to pass down your hatred of that because that's not going to benefit them for shit. What does your quote unquote gay son get from his father having an issue with gays? That just kind of pushes him more into a homosexual direction or gets him depressed. Either way, he should be able to make his free decisions without any type of pressure for no reason. The only thing the way I plan to do my thing when I have children is not to, if my son is gay, my son is gay. If my daughter is a goth, my daughter is a goth. I'm not going to push it either way because we all have our different tastes. I mean, my mom kind of, but still, my mom didn't push me to go into sports and shit. I'm chill with anime and manga. And she makes her little Pokemon jokes because that's the only thing she thinks is anime and manga. She thinks everything anime and manga is Pokemon for whatever reason. Or Naruto, which I don't even understand because I have more One Piece stuff. But that's getting into a whole different discussion. But still, my mom didn't push me into any direction. So I got to choose all my things normally. But at the same time, she didn't really help either. But still, that's not the point. My thing is that future generations, they don't need the hate. What hatred or dislike that you have, that wouldn't benefit them in any way. Why does your son need to know that you hate black people? Or why does your daughter need to know that you hate lesbians? Or you hate you hate the Chinese? Or you hate motherfuckers who wear ties? That doesn't benefit. That's my thing. I would rather my kids go into shit with an open mind and then pick their shit instead of going in there with a closed mind. Because then, they get a taste of everything. They understand the way the world works. They can't... And I think open-mindedness would be something that would help in the future. Because, the world is fucked up. I don't even think we need to beat around the bush. The world is fucked up. I can't even sugarcoat that. The world is fucked up. The world is fucked up. There's really no... denying that the world is fucked up on different levels. There are so many issues people have with other people. Yeah, even animals aren't this fucking ridiculous. Animals are more civilized than we are. We kill each other for no fucking reason. If animals kill their same species, it's usually on a survival level. Some of us just kill for fun. We're like the most complicated and confusing motherfuckers on the planet. And it's ironic because we're the most advanced, which kind of brings up a whole different question I could get into later, if advancement leads to more problems. But still, let's getting back to the point. All I'm saying is for future generations, they don't need all this technical shit. They need shit to be simplified. There's no reason to bring in hate and anger or just random dislike towards anyone. So I guess my question to you guys is, for future, if you only could give one message, or I guess one teaching to the future generations, what would it be? Because me personally, being open mind, I'd rather people make the decisions we're being aware of everything than to make the decision aware of only like two things, because then there's a choice between those two things. It's like I'll put it something in a simple. I'll give a simple example. Your taste in music. Let's say your parents only introduced you to rap and country, and then asked you what was your favorite kind of music. You're only gonna pick rap or country because you haven't been exposed to every type of music. Now, when I say open mind, I want something to be clarified here. I don't mean at a young age to tell your children about sex and rape and all the other crap. Like, I still think there's a time and age you should slowly ease your kids into. Like in terms of music, I probably would introduce my kids to rock, at least, chilled out rock, at least at a young age. I would rather them go into shit with open mind. I'd rather to expose them to a lot of things instead of just one thing. So they're not just acting like me because I only exposed them to what I like. Because of course, at that point, then they're geared to what I like because it's the only thing they've been exposed to. That way, I feel like people who are really paranoid or skeptical of homophobes were taught by their parents and inherited their parents' hatred of homosexuals. That's why they don't like homosexuals, because my dad raised me not to like homosexuals. If I introduce my child to a homosexual, I'm not going to be like, this is a horrible person. This is a person that's going to hell. Like a lot of fucking religious fanatics like to do, is be like, oh, this person's going to hell because of this, this, and this. And then by proxy, because you taught your child that going to hell is a bad thing for one. And then on top of that, you taught your child that all these things you hate about people, the reasons why they went to hell, so by proxy, you have now taught your child to hate all of those things without having them have proper exposure to it. And then when your child has exposure to it, they rebel against. It's usually in a way to rebel against you, because you've set yourself up to be like, I hate it I hate that the fact that there are black people around, or I hate the fact that there are Chinese people around, or I hate the fact that there are transsexuals walking around. So your daughter or son get with a black or Chinese person, or even become a transsexual, and as some set of rebellion, because they feel, it's like. It kind of works as a safeguard, because that means your children won't be able to spite you that way. Your child's not going to spite you by just doing something that you hate, which is what a lot of kids do nowadays, because, let's face it, the parental standards are horrible now, and that goes into a whole bunch of other things. That's the dangers of societal discussions, people. I can literally go into 6 or 7 different topics, but for right now, I'm going to leave it at this. I'm going to leave the video at this. If you can only give a message, if you can only give one message to the next generations, what would it be? Mine is an open mind. I've given you my reasons. I apologize if this was rambling like hell, but that's kind of the way I do things. But anyways, I would like to thank you guys for watching. If you like the rambling societal discussions, give it a thumbs up. If you liked it so much you want to rewatch it over and over again, you can favorite it. And subscribe. I'm not going to say where, because eventually the subscribe button will probably be the screen. I'm not even going to point. As always, you can follow me on Facebook, fan page, Twitter, email me, Blip TV, Block TV, Yush. So, life's a game, play to win, and I will catch you guys later.